judicial deliberations, as well as Wednesday evening, which was, or no, Thursday evening, which was October 1st. Again, discussing quasi judicial deliberations. I'm going to call this meeting to order, sorry, in a second. And we're going to start by saluting the nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In attendance this evening are Supervisors Fisher, Agizio, Casiola, Savavik, and Fleer. In addition, Township Manager Don Januso, Jack King, Director of Planning and Assistant Township Manager, Sean Bukovinsky, Chief of Police, Engineer Dan Dizeroth of Gateway Engineers. Cecil Township residents, the Township Board of Supervisors, well, we don't need to read that. Fall leaf collection will begin Monday, October 19th, and will end on Thursday, November 19th. Leaves will be picked up Monday through Thursday during this period. Bagged leaves are to be placed out in biodegradable bags. Loose leaves must be raked to the curb and is recommended to call the municipal building at 724-745-2227 for pickup of those leaves. Trick or treat for Cecil Township residents will be on Saturday, October 31st, 2020, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you are participating, please leave your porch light on.
Chairman, did that change, or the email stated 7:30?
It did change to 8 p.m. at the request of a number of residents.
Number of board members?
Residents? Do you have a problem with that change?
I just didn't know it was changed, and I saw the email was 7:30, and did it used to always be that?
It's varied from year to year.
Thank you.
Start right into resolutions 165, 2020, actually. Consider conditional use application 2020-11 for the Range Resources Schultz Bernard well site, location 2020 Galati Road, McDonald, R1 Low Density Residential Zoning District, application Range Resources. Do I have a motion for that?
I make a motion.
You can't, you're not voting. Yeah, sorry.
I make a motion.
Do I have a second? We'll read the condition
Okay, yes,
during
if you read.
discussion.
Second,
Okay, it's been
We have
moved.
discussion.
Sure.
Could I ask that 48 be eliminated?
Well, I
from-
haven't even read the conditions yet, so
All
do
right,
you
but
want
I'm
me to
stating
read?
that now during discussion, that
Your
I would
number 48 is different, going to be different because you didn't accept changes.
The added today environmental impact study
It was not on today, but okay.
shall be completed and submitted to township before a grading permit is issued.
Okay. I'm going to read through the conditions, and then we can have discussion, and then we can vote on it as follows. Bear with me, there's quite a few. Number 1, all activities conducted in association with and part of natural gas and oil wells shall be in accordance with the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, existing and as amended, any applicable federal laws, and in compliance with the applicable township ordinances. Number 2, Range shall obtain and comply with all applicable permits from appropriate Commonwealth and, if applicable, federal regulatory agencies or authorities. Number 3, lighting on the well site shall be directed downward and shielded to avoid glare on public roads, protected uses, and adjacent dwellings and buildings. Number 4, the first 50 feet of the proposed access road shall be paved with asphalt. The remainder of the access road shall consist of compacted, stabilized aggregate and/or the equivalent of a more permanently solidified material. Number 5, the 50 feet of asphalt on the well site access road will be vacuumed and broomed to prevent debris from being carried onto the public street. The access road will be treated with dust suppressants to reduce airborne dust that may occur during activity, and under no circumstances shall brine water, sulfur water, or water in mixture with any type of hydrocarbon be used for dust abatement. Number 6, range shall comply and meet all township standards with regard to sound levels as provided in the Township's Unified Development Ordinance and Ordinance 9/2011. Number 7, range shall install sound walls as described during the public hearing. Number 8, range shall provide for, at range's expense, 24/7 continuous sound monitoring by a sound consultant entity chosen by the township during the following phases: vertical drilling, horizontal drilling, and hydraulic fracturing. Reporting and results of the monitoring shall be made directly to the township. Number 9, there are no activities associated with the proposed use that will result in malodorous gas or matter discernible at any point on or beyond applicable lot lines. Number 10, range shall provide for, at range's expense, 24/7 continuous air monitoring by an entity chosen by the township during the following phases: vertical drilling, horizontal drilling, and hydraulic fracturing. Reporting and results of the monitoring shall be made directly to the township. Number 11, the township shall not in any manner assume any liability for actions or non-actions committed by range, its representatives, contractors, subcontractors, or suppliers at the proposed site which is subject to this conditional use. Number 12, range intends to drill 5 of the 14 wells that can be accommodated on this site. If range plans to drill additional wells beyond the initial 5, then range will provide a minimum of 60 days advance notice in writing of its intent to do so to the township and comply with the conditions set forth herein. Such notice shall include an updated schedule providing additional well permits secured from the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. Number 13, range has provided the township with and will continue to update as necessary its preparedness, prevention, and contingency plan in accordance with applicable law and regulations. Number 14, range shall provide a schedule in writing to the township identifying anticipated dates for site preparation and construction, drilling and completion of the wells. The township recognizes that those dates may change, and range will update the township with anticipated dates of such activities. The township may choose to post this schedule on its website as a means to provide notice to the public. 15, range shall obtain all required permits for Cecil Township for the construction and use of said access road adjoining Galati Road. 16, range shall provide the township with contact information which will allow representatives of range to be contacted 24 hours a day. 17, range shall enter into a sewage agreement with the township prior to drilling activity occurring on site. 18, in the event a DEP reportable spill greater than 5 gallons of a regulated substance off containment occurs at the well site, range shall provide notice in writing to the township. Said notice shall be provided within 24 hours of the spill. 19, if a complaint is registered with the township, range will address said complaint within 24 hours of notification of it and take whatever reasonable means necessary to alleviate and cure said complaint. Range will provide the township and complainant in writing with a proposed plan of action to address the issue. Range shall also provide the township with range will also provide the township, shouldn't that say will or shall? Range shall also provide the township with a prompt explanation as to why it believes that any complaints received by the township are not believed to be reasonable and valid upon its investigation or review of same. If the township requests, range will provide its explanation in writing. Number 20, range shall provide written notice to the township of all resident complaints it receives directly. Range will provide the township and complainant in writing with a proposed plan of action to address the issue. Range shall also provide the township with a prompt explanation as to why it believes that any complaints received by the township, by range, are not believed to be reasonable and valid upon its investigation or review of same. If the township requests, range will provide its explanation in writing. 21, range shall meet with the township safety control individuals, including but not specifically limited to the fire chief, police chief, code inspector, and county emergency management appointee to discuss and provide information regarding an emergency response preparedness, prevention, and contingency plan. 22, once the well site is constructed, range shall install a locked gate at the access road to prevent unauthorized motor vehicles on the access road. During the drilling and completions phases, range shall utilize security personnel located at the access road or a cyber gate as described in the application package and testified to during the conditional use hearing. Further, Range will work with the township to address security matters that may arise related to the security at the well site. 23, Range shall provide an off-street parking area for vehicles to stand or be positioned while gaining entrance to the well site during drilling and completions operations. The parking area shall be adequate so the well site traffic does not disrupt the normal flow of traffic on township roadways. 24, Range shall provide adequate, obvious, and specific signage of the route to the well site for the vehicles associated with the proposed activity. The use of the term vehicles associated with the proposed activity is intended to be those trucks commonly referred to as triaxle trucks, water trucks, or of a weight requiring a road to be bonded. It is not intended to mean general passenger trucks or vehicles traveling to the site. 25, Range shall inform drivers that Jake brake usage on trucks is restricted. In addition, signage to reflect the same shall be placed along the applicable route. 26, Range shall continue to review the efficiency and safety of all traffic plans and routes and will meet with township representatives to address any issue regarding said plans or routes, including traffic flow and safety if requested by the township. Route changes that deviate from those presented at the conditional use hearing must be approved by the Board of Supervisors. 27, Range shall provide flagmen and traffic control devices along the portion of the route which is a township road to maintain the safe flow of traffic along said route. Flagmen and any other traffic control devices shall be provided at times when there is overweight traffic, heavy truck traffic, movement of large equipment, and/or similar demands on the township road network. 28, Range agrees to restrict overweight truck traffic, 3 or more axles, quote, heavy truck traffic on a township road during those periods of time in which the Cannon-McMillan School District and Fort Cherry School District schedule morning and afternoon bus drop-off and pickup of students. Range specifically agrees to impose appropriate morning and afternoon blackout periods in order to totally restrict any heavy truck traffic within the township during those periods of time in which the Cannon-McMillan School District and Fort Cherry School District schedules morning and afternoon school bus or parent drop-off and pickup of students, or during other scheduled special events. Range shall also provide a 24/7 available contact person and phone number to the district transportation offices. 29, Range shall be responsible for all damage to any roadways caused by the activity of Range. 30, if requested by the township, Range will enter into an excess road maintenance agreement and provide the township, according to township standards, road bonds to be held by and on behalf of the township. 31, Range shall maintain at the subject property and on file with the township a current list and corresponding safety data sheet, formerly referred to as Material Safety Data Sheets, MSDS, of and for all chemicals used in the drilling and fracturing operations. 32, if requested, Range shall provide on-site orientation to the township's first responders. 33, Range will notify the township and the township's first responders of any emergency requiring a response from the township's first responders, and Range will provide updates regarding any such emergency to the township and the township's first responders. 34, all earth-moving activities and stormwater management on the subject property shall comply with the terms and conditions of a DEP-approved erosion and sedimentation control plan and all such applicable permits, as well as the township's grading ordinance within the Unified Development Ordinance and Stormwater Ordinance. 35, all earth-moving activities and any road improvement project shall take place between the hours set forth in the Township General Code, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday. 36, water testing as required by the Pennsylvania Oil and Gas Act shall be conducted by an independent water testing company chosen by homeowners. Testing shall take place pre, during, and post-drilling for structures on well water within 1,000 feet of the well site. Results shall be shared with the township upon request. 37, Range shall not utilize any flaring. 38, Range shall utilize an emergency notification system to residents that utilize electronic mail, text messaging, and/or phone call notification to the residents within 3,000 feet of the well pad. 39, Range shall enter into a developer's agreement in a form acceptable to the township solicitor. 40, consistent with Section 403H of the Township's Unified Development Ordinance, Range shall obtain a grading permit to commence work on pad construction within 1 year of the date of this conditional use approval. 41, an environmental impact study shall be completed and submitted to the township before grading permit is issued by the township. 42, range shall commence vertical drilling within 2 years of the date of this conditional use approval. 43, the following personnel and supervisory trailers are permitted on-site for resting accommodations during the vertical and horizontal drilling process. During vertical drilling, 6 supervisory trailers are permitted to be placed on location for 8 supervisory personnel remaining on-site during the vertical drilling phase. 1 rig supervisor, 1 rig manager, 1 mud logger, 1 solids control, 2 rig operations, 2 material systems. During horizontal drilling, 8 supervisory trailers are permitting for 11 supervisory personnel on-site during the horizontal drilling phase. 1 rig supervisor, 1 rig manager, 2 directional drillers, 2 mud loggers, 1 mud engineer, 2 solids control individuals, 2 measurement while drilling personnel. 44, range shall obtain and possess all required background checks for personnel, including supervisory personnel and specifically included ranges representations, I didn't think that sounded right. Representatives, contractors, and subcontractors working on the site and make same available for review by the township upon request. 45, all conditions set forth herein apply in full force and effect if set forth in Ordinance 9, 2011, and shall be enforced through Section 4 penalties of Ordinance 9, 2011. 46, Ordinance 9, 2011, and all conditions herein apply in full force and effect to all entities working on any part of the oil and gas development as defined by Ordinance 9, 2011. And so you're asking, Eric, for 41
Correct.
to be, so 41 reads, an environmental impact study shall be completed and submitted to the township before a grading permit is issued by the township. Is there anyone else that wants that sentence removed? So there's a motion and a second.
Wait, I have a question for Gretchen. I think it's 26, I kind of lost track. The Jake brake usage,
That was
is
there.
there a distinction between restricted and prohibited? We used to use the word restricted in there, that's, to me, could be open for interpretation.
That's a good, he's talking about Jake breaks. It says restricted, he's saying, well, I'm sorry, what was the other word?
Prohibited.
Prohibited.
Yeah, prohibited stronger, is that what you want?
Well, yeah, if we say restricted, I mean, that's just,
Okay.
well, I needed it.
So it's actually 25. So we're going to change 25 to say range shall inform drivers that Jake brake usage on trucks is prohibited. Yes? I'm fine with that. Anyone else?
Discussion on the number 8 and 10 that illustrate the 24/7.
I'm sorry?
8 and 10 that illustrate the 24/7 continuous monitoring. I would request possibly that the board look at that through the eyes of 4 or 5 times a week, plus handling the complaints that come in versus the burden of a 24/7.
I mean,
Sound consultant?
if they're setting up the monitors, what difference would it make if it's 7 days a week or 4 days a week? It's not like somebody has to stand out there holding the machine.
You asked for a sound consultant for the
Continuous,
entity to do that? So it's not
It
a
says-
consultant, but a consultant entity would set up the monitor?
what? Range shall provide for ranges expense 24/7 continuous sound monitoring by a consultant entity, so a company, chosen by the township during the following phases. So, I
So
mean,
your description is that they would just put a monitor up on the pole? That's what you're referring to?
yeah.
Thank you.
Same with the air one. It's not, again, not like somebody needs to stand there 24/7.
And the same with the air on number 10.
Right. Any other comments, questions before we take a vote? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Abstain.
Passes 4, and Ron abstains. Do you need this? Can you, I have it in my email. Okay. 166, 2020, consider application 2020-31 for Phase 2 of the Cannonsburg-Houston Joint Authority wastewater treatment plant upgrades contingent upon addressing comments from the township engineer, location 315 Curry Hill Road, Canonsburg, R1 Low Density Residential Zoning District, applicant Canonsburg Houston Joint Authority. The Planning Commission recommended approval with the contingency on September 17, 2020.
Madam Chair, I can say that all of my comments have been addressed with the latest submission, which was
Thank you. Sorry.
okay. The question was related to stormwater management, which they've addressed on the site in the form of a pond. They're undergoing a major expansion down there, another major expansion that they have to get a permit for anyway. I can't explain quite what they're doing, but there's buildings and structures going up there. They have to get development approval. There's really no public or private improvements, no additional parking, anything else. The only thing we were concerned about was stormwater management. As a part of their NPDES permit, they have to put in a pond down there, so they will comply, and they have complied with our ordinance. That's really my only comments at this point. Have any questions?
Sorry. And you said nobody is here.
I talked to Diane Outland today.
Are you comfortable with?
Yeah, all of our comments have been addressed. We had a number of different comments that they provided. So they've addressed all the technical comments on the ordinance. We just have them pull a grading permit when they do this. I believe they've already taken bids on it.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? I'll second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pass. Eric, did you say
I
yes?
said aye.
Passes 5-0. 167-2020, consider setting a date for a public hearing regarding conditional use application 2020-32 for Bell Landscaping, location 10 Cecil Henderson Road, Canonsburg, C1 General Commercial Zoning District, applicant Briselli Inc., Oliver Real Estate. The Planning Commission recommended approval on September 17, 2020, contingent upon addressing comments from the township engineer and with the following additional condition. Movable/non-movable concrete, non-concrete landscaping bins shall be constructed behind the building setback line.
This is the conditional use plan. This is the former Big Jim's Roadhouse. I believe the board already consolidated the lots here. What they're proposing to do is use the existing facility. There was some discussion at the Planning Commission related to where they're going to have bins to store their landscaping material. What they agreed to do is they're going to have to put a buffer up along this line, and they agreed to hold the bins back behind the building line. So that was a condition that the Planning Commission also recommended. So I believe all you're doing tonight is just setting a public hearing, and that's all I'm doing is giving.
Do you think that it would take longer than an hour? Could we do it an hour before our, is everybody okay with that? 6 o'clock, November 2nd, an hour prior to our next board meeting?
I don't believe there's anybody that would, any residents that are affected by it, so I'm sure you could do it.
Okay, so we'll set that date for 6 PM, November 2nd. Does that work? Is that 6:30? Wow. We'll say 6. I'll say 6 PM, just to be safe. 168-2020, consider application 2020-33 for rank consolidation plan, location Rising Road, McDonald, R1 Low Density Residential Zoning, applicant Alan Rank. The Planning Commission recommended approval on September 17th, 2020.
This is the rank consolidation plan. I believe there's a representative from J.R. Gales here. Questions, but this is the Allen Rank property. It's located up off of Rising Road. It's near the Turnpike. Purpose of the plan, this is actually the Cecil Township line, South Fayette line right here. This location, all they're doing is bringing back some property into the bigger rank parcel right here and putting a Z line on here. So it's My understanding, the Turnpike originally took this land. They didn't know totally what they would need at the time. It was given back to Mr. Rank actually through Allegheny County ordinance that brought the property back. He's now in possession of it. We've seen that document. And really, all he's doing is revising his property line now to be this direction here. It's all consolidated. This line goes away. This line goes away. And then it becomes one large parcel.
Is there any plan for it that he's mentioned, or he's just,
Yeah, they're considering a single-family residential development here. I think they're working out some sewer issues right now, as I understand it. Whether it's, I believe this is serviced by Midway.
Okay.
So that's working this issue.
thank you. Do I have a,
I make a motion?
This property is no longer his. Hasn't he sold this property?
No, it's my understanding it's still Mr. Ranks. He's working with Bill Fink. Everyone else. It's still being signed off on by the Ranks, right? Correct. That's who made the application.
I'm pretty sure it was sold. GSL bought it, the owner.
He said he sold some of his parcels in South Fayette.
Yeah, but the guy from GSL bought the big white house and the big house in the back. Yeah. Definitely.
can we verify, I mean,
I know he
so
sold them.
you're saying that it is sold? You're agreeing?
Yeah, it's not his.
Can we verify that he owns this before we agree to a consolidation?
We can, Dan, the ordinance allows, if he's an authorized representative, he doesn't have to be the owner to make application for a subdivision.
But do we have confirmation that he's an authorized?
Yeah, I mean, I have a deed in the file here. That shows Mr. Rank, Alan Rank, the parties involved. The application is made and signed by Alan Rank. It's in our file.
Could we, could we table this and then approve it at our next meeting? Is there a rush to get this done? I mean, we can't approve a consolidation without assurance that he is.
Yeah, with all due respect to Ron, there's a lot of property floating on around up there. I just, what we trust is the surveyor wouldn't be saying that it's owned by somebody if it's not. He's the one that puts a seal on the plan. It has to be signed by somebody. So the proof in the pudding would be it being signed, but we'll verify. I wouldn't suggest holding it up, but we'll verify it before the township. We recommend the township signing it to make it feel comfortable.
So
He
could,
definitely doesn't own it.
so,
Definitely.
so we could make a motion.
No.
We could approve this pending a verification of ownership.
So moved.
What did you say Tim's last name is? That he owns it? Jim McCorner.
So we just need verification. So if
Sure,
we want to move
absolutely.
forward with this, we just need verification that it is owned by Mr. Rank. So it's been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So it's approved pending verification of ownership. 169-2020, consider authorizing that Cecil Township be the applicant for the West Penn Power Street Light to illuminate the cluster mailbox area for Windsor Woods. The developer will install the light, and the homeowners association has agreed in writing to reimburse the township for the cost of electricity for the operation of the light. Do I have a motion?
I'll
Daniel,
make a
wanna-
motion.
I gave the board a report on this cluster mailbox earlier in the month.
Yep.
There were some complaints that came in from the residents. Just to recap, There's 192 cluster mailboxes up there. This was approved before the ordinance was adopted that had certain provisions with the developer's room to make it comply. He's going to pay 4 more parking spaces up there, and he's also has the area ready to be lit as required by the ordinance. He's just in a predicament related to right now to get the lighting in. He doesn't have anything there, structure or anything else to really put an application in on. So he's asking he doesn't have any service there himself right now. So he's asking the township to be the applicant for this until such time as we can get it switched over to the HOA. This would get the light put in. They've also provided a letter regarding that they'll pay for the power that's in the file. The letter's here from Jim Rombaugh, the president of the HOA. So that's the request.
I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 170, 2020, consider reapproval of application 2020-27 for formerly Porcelli subdivision number 1 plan under the name of Oliver Real Estate Holdings LLC Consolidation Plan number 1, location 10 Cecil Henderson Road, C1 General Commercial Zoning District, property owner formerly Porcelli Inc., now changed to Oliver Real Estate Holdings Inc., Holdings LLC. The plan received Board of Supervisors approval on September 8th, 2020.
This is strictly a name change, and they made the change in writing early. The board can approve change of the name of the plan, just that the minutes are properly reflected. This name change occurred, so we advised them to come back to the board tonight and make this request. There's no change to the plan. It's just strictly a name change.
So moved.
I'll second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 171, 2020, consider the purchase of 3 bridges for installation at Cecil Township Park through Contech Engineered Solutions and the PA CoStars program in the amount of $141,525.
Discussion,
Sure.
please. Was talk, or we had some discussion. I was surprised to see this show up with the 3, and instead of being 2. Would the board be okay with going with 2 of the bridges?
I think if we're going to do it, we need to do 3. We have senior citizens that walk through the park, and if they want to cross to see the Miners Pavilion, having them walk to either end, or if you just want to cut across, we have the grant money. We have $100,000 in grant money, and we have money set aside from last year that we could easily cover this, so I'd hate to see us do this project halfway.
Do we have all the other costs associated with building the concrete holders or the hanging or any other?
This is strictly for the
bridges.
purchase of the bridges. We're going to bid right now. As soon as the board has to approve, what has to happen is the board has to approve this through the CoStars program. Once that's done, that'll authorize Contact to provide the shop drawings for the bridges, Eric. And then once the shop drawings are prepared, then the bridge abutments can be designed and put to bid and installation. So we're ready to go with a bid on the installation. That'll be a bid that'll come back to the board for further consideration.
Would you put a guesstimate on handling the shop for one bridge? Any guesstimate on that? I know you're going to send it out to bid, but what range are we in?
For each bridge, the installation,
Yes.
I think you're going to be at least at the cost for the bridge. It's going to be about $50,000 each bridge.
Keep in mind, Eric, we have, and I can't remember, Duncan either, it's either 127 or 147 in a capital account from last year that we put aside. So we have $100,000 in grant money, 100 and we'll say 30-ish in a capital account, and it's almost November, and we still have $200,000 budgeted for this year. So while it sounds expensive, we have the money set aside and allocated for it.
So for the 300,000, right?
It's really, $100,000 of it is grant monies.
I do have a comment, though. I know we talked about 2 or 3. That's probably in the future, that's going to probably end up being one of our smaller parks. You know, someday we're going to have a full township park on a larger piece of property, and this is kind of going to become a minor, a small park. It's small to begin with, but it's never, it will never be big enough to be the main park for the township. So I mean, I don't know, do we still want to spend that much money on the park here where we know we're going to be building a better park in the future, a bigger park for the township?
I mean, when in the future?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, if you were gonna tell me that it was gonna be built within the next 2 years, that'd be a
No.
different story. But for
I just know we're
right,
going to go outgrow this park.
yeah, but
I
I think-
think the bridge in the center was basically for the restrooms.
yeah.
We applied for this grant for this specific purpose. I think the money should be spent there for it.
Was
And
it
that's
3
why we-
bridges on the grant?
Yes.
Yes.
request?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's why we put aside that money that wasn't spent last year specifically for bridges.
Okay, thank you.
So I'll make the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 172-2020, consider application for payment 3 and final for Contract A 2020 Pavement Maintenance Program to Youngblood Paving in the amount of $95,191.25 as recommended by the Township Engineer.
Yeah, this is for the Contract A, which is the liquid fuels contract. Work is completed. We have final recommendation. We have the maintenance bond in place, so it's our recommendation to make final payment.
Do I have a motion?
Wait a second.
Sorry.
What's this for here, Dan? Just for the sealing of Kelso Road and that?
No, this isn't sealing contract. This is regular paving, milling and paving.
Well, I just asked Frank, they did all the backing of the curbs with topsoil along the roads. They throw seed down, but they didn't put no straw or mushroom manure or nothing on it. I asked Frank, he just said typically,
In Peters Township, I did a large row program this year. They requested mushroom manure after you seed. Most places put straw. I was doing the same process today in Cannonsburg Borough. Some residents don't want the straw because it blows all over in their neighbor's yard, so they didn't want no straw. I guess it's sort of at the discretion of the homeowners, or,
I believe, I don't have our specs in front of us, but typically Gateway calls for mushroom manure, so that's what we spec. If you say it wasn't put down,
no, it's not put down at all.
and I don't know which project it's on. whether
It's on Wilson Avenue.
Wilson Avenue, okay. If you want to hold up payment, we can wait till next month, Ron.
It's up to you.
Make a motion, we table it, check into it.
Can you condition it on them putting the mushroom manure in there?
Yeah,
Can't we just condition it that they put the mushroom manure down?
It's up to the board.
that's fine with me.
Okay,
If you're okay, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll approve this pending the condition that mushroom manure is used. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have-
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye, passes 5-0. 173-2020, consider application for payment to and final for Contract B 2020 Pavement Maintenance Program to Youngblood Paving in the amount of $122,875.62 as recommended by the Township Engineer.
this is for contract, I'm sorry. This is for the regular payment maintenance program. This is non-liquid fuels. And this is for final payment. And again, if you want to just make this contingent upon the backfill of the curbs, top dressing with mushroom manure, we'll make sure that happens.
I do.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Passes 5-0. 174-2020, consider application for payment to and final for Contract D 2020 Pavement Maintenance Program to Youngblood Paving in the amount of $72,630.75 as recommended by the Township Engineer.
This is actually for seal coating the roads and the fog sealing, so there was no work behind the curbs on this one. So we verified the work was complete, the maintenance bond is in place, and we're recommending final payment.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 175, 2020, consider certification of the 2021 MMO for the Uniform Pension Plan at $615,506. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It passes 5-0. 176, 2020, consider certification of the 2021 MMO for the non-uniform pension plan at $287,710. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 177, 2020, consider application for LSA grant for Klinger Park. For those of you that remember, we applied for a DCNR grant in the spring for the Klinger Park project. Ned Williams from the Trails here to show his support. Ned, if you want to wave your hand. We appreciate the trail support. We have not yet heard from the DCNR grant. The estimation is sometime between now and December that we'll hear, but we're going to move forward with attempting to get an LSA grant for that as well. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 178, 2020, consider extending an offer for direct acquisition of property off of Klinger Road.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second? I'll
Second.
second. Godfrey.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 179, 2020, consider reimbursement resolution for acquisition of property off of Klinger Road. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second? I'll second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 180, 2020, consider to approve Michael McKeag and RBC Capital Markets as bond underwriter and Sean Guerin and Dinsmore and Soul as bond counsel to move forward with the township's proposed bond financing, including the production of a preliminary official statement and the securing of a bond rating.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. 181, 2020, announced the intent to sell 39,100 square feet of property to AUMA.
Where is this?
That's the property in South Point by the old bridge,
Oh,
old
okay.
exit.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Passes 5-0. 182, 2020, consider authorizing the solicitor and township officials to pursue a notice of violation cease and desist against the Turnpike Commission related to violations of noise provisions of the township's ordinance.
I'll make a motion.
Moved.
Second.
This is for the Turnpike's work over by Cherry Brook and the National Cemetery. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 183, 2020, consider the minutes from the Tuesday, September 8th, 2020 Cecil Township Board of Supervisors regular monthly meeting.
I'll make a motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. 184, 2020, consider the general fund invoices from September 1st through September 30th, 2020.
Make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. I'm going to open it up for Board of Supervisors discussion of new and/or old business. Anyone?
I would have a discussion on the old business, just that,
Quickly, hang 1 second. Anybody have new business?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead. Hang 1 second, and we'll do.
I think with all the traffic now, we need to look at putting some streetlights up on McConnell Road. It's awfully dark up along through there.
Anybody have any comment on that?
Don't disagree with that.
let's investigate.
mean, we can do studies to see.
Not really a study, it's just if we authorize that, then, what, the contract for West Penn Power, and they would install them, and then it gets billed through the taxes for people within a certain area.
Do you want to do that?
I mean, that's the normal way when we rate streetlights.
No, I'm
right?
just asking, are you in favor of adding
Oh,
streetlights to
yes,
McConnell Road?
yes.
Okay.
Gretchen, you're looking at,
No, I just caught the tail end of that. Are you talking about creating a transportation district?
No.
Okay.
Streetlights on McConnell Road.
Okay.
So do we want to have the solicitor and the township manager write something up?
why don't you explain exactly how we go about, if it's gonna be along a street like that? Gretchen, I was talking to Gretchen.
Well,
I don't know
who are
where we're
you talking to? Me, Gretchen, or
Gretchen,
I don't know where we're talking about putting streetlights on. but-
McConnell Road?
Okay, so is it one streetlight? Can you do
No,
No,
that'd be
it
Probably 3 or 4.
Yeah, probably be 3 or 4.
Yeah, so have there been any studies done?
No, that's what I said, and he said we don't need one.
study.
yeah, you know,
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. It seems like we're all in favor of doing it. Let's have Gretchen and Dawn look into whether or not we need to do a study and what we need to proceed, and then it can be approved at our November meeting. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
so
fine.
we're gonna
Okay.
move forward with having you guys look into that.
Okay.
Anybody else have new business?
Yes, I had an email from a resident living down on Coomer Road concerned about possible slide or slippage there. When you come down Coomer Road and approach Muse Bishop, at the Y, I guess would be to the left side there. Maybe, Dawn, if you can just have Bill look into it, or,
I think Bill has
Okay.
checked that out, Frank. I think there was a large tree with a massive root base that fell.
Okay.
Report from Bill.
Thank you.
thanks.
Anybody else have new business? Old business? Go ahead, Eric.
I would ask that we go to the next step in the comprehensive plan and set up a hearing, which would be the next step for the public. And I would ask for a roll call of the board that we do that, or just make certain that all the board's in favor. I, for one, think we go to the next step, and that is to set up a hearing.
So before we would do that, I don't even think we got to the point where this board recommended changes. So why don't we first send any of our recommended changes to the Comprehensive Plan Committee and to Don Januso for review, and then we can,
I think we've already done that.
I don't think we
Pardon me?
finished it.
yeah,
We did that the night the gentleman was here. We told him what certain things that we
We
wanted out.
generally discussed it. We didn't put anything like
the work
formally.
session. But we don't send our recommendations back to that advisory board, they're done, they were supposed to give their report to us, or planning commission, or planning commission forwards it to us with their suggestions and recommendations, and we just have to act on a plan. It doesn't go back to anybody.
Well, it could, I mean, don't you think the right thing to do, though, since they're the one that worked on it, if we want to make changes that
had
we,
the work session with them.
didn't we had a work session with like 2 people?
No, there's a lot of
We
people
were a
here.
good turnout.
The next step is the hearing, and hear from the public, and we could have discussion at that same time.
Why would we waste the time with a hearing if we're
You have to
probably,
have a hearing,
I mean, if we're not going to accept it?
One good thing, the map wasn't even approved, was it? I thought they were up in the air about that.
That's the one that, we had a resident, and I don't want to use names, but you'll know who I mean, like, that was in the audience, like, saying that she disagreed with the map that was presented as part of the comprehensive plan, because she had wanted a commercial district along Muse Bishop Road. And so I mean, it didn't seem to me, and I'm one person, but that they were even in agreement in the plan that they sent to us.
but that's our job, we have to draw a new map now. If we like it exactly the way the committee recommended it, then that's what we would approve, but if we're doing additions or subtractions to it, we have to come up with the actual
But that's what
plan.
I'm saying.
But you
Like,
do
we
that-
haven't even done that, like, you can't
You
hold.
get that from the hearing, though. That's why
You
you have the
can't-
input from the people, correct?
No.
Yeah, you have to have input from them, that's part of the hearing, but Dawn, you sent that request from us months ago to say any suggested changes?
But how are we gonna have a hearing when we don't even know what we're presenting to the public, when we as a board haven't even agreed to changes? Do you think that a majority of this board agreed to changes?
I don't know, Dawn, did you get responses back? I know I sent them to you, what you asked for.
It's been some time. I don't recall. I know we did have a brief workshop discussion where the board was present and members from the Comprehensive Planning Committee were present. There were some things discussed, but nothing was prepared in list form in concrete, so.
That's what I'm saying. So before we get to the point where we schedule a hearing date, which I'm not opposed to, but we could schedule a hearing date, first, we as a board have to have something to present at the hearing.
All right, well, Dawn, if you did send us out an email asking us to send any suggested changes to it. And if you didn't get a response, then I'm not against us having actually a workshop to do it. Because apparently if Dawn didn't get responses, I know he doesn't remember, it's been a while.
No, I did receive a few comments, Tom, I did.
But we have to get enough to that we all agree on.
Yes, correct.
So let's schedule, instead of scheduling hearing, let's schedule a workshop.
Yeah, we need that too.
All right.
Right at the back.
So let's schedule, keep in mind, though, we're heading into budgeting season, so we also need to schedule those. So let's schedule, is there a specific day of the week that works better for everyone?
Seems as though the Mondays have been fine. I would ask for something like the 19th, October 19th, or the,
We have a zoning board meeting that evening, or, yeah, hearing.
if it's just a workshop, we can go back in generations or something. Oh, it's
To
for
do
us?
with- We can't do that, because we need them
The
projected.
20th?
Tuesday, the 20th is fine with me. You're good with it, Tom? Ron, you're good? Frank, you're good? Okay, so we'll schedule a comprehensive plan workshop October 20th, 7 PM. Okay. Anybody else have any old business you want to bring up? We didn't allow public comment, which, yeah, whoops. If anybody has any public comment, we'll please ask you to step to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. You can go ahead.
My name's Oliver Ventresca. I live at 60 Chiffoni Road. I was wondering what it would take to get city water up to my house so I can not have a well.
So I've actually been working for a couple weeks now with State Rep Jason Ortite. We can have this discussion publicly, or I can just talk to you about some grant options and some ideas to get city water up Chiffoni Road. We've talked numerous times and just about the options. Unfortunately, with COVID, grant monies are limited this year, but there are some grants that we could work on. For not just you, for a bunch of areas in the township that don't have
Because we
water.
have no fire hydrants or nothing on that road.
Right. So,
far is
yeah,
that, Joe?
Supervisor Agizio.
Where's it end, where
Yeah.
my brother built that last house?
Yeah.
It should, I think it ends right where your brother built that last house. What do you think, it's 1,400 feet up to my house?
Yeah, Supervisor Agizio had reached out to me and asked me to do some research, so I've actually been working on it. I actually think I have it here. So I can show you and talk to you a little bit about some. Now, it's grants, so there's no guarantee with grants, but we can try. Doesn't hurt to try.
If that don't work, what else could you do? I mean, is there anything else you could do?
That-
I would
sorry?
agree. Municipal
Yeah,
authority,
I
or
mean,
that,
that's a grant.
that has to be brought up to the municipal authority, or they have to be made aware of that.
I'm sorry, what did he say?
The municipal authority needs to be involved and see what's going on. I would like to see them come to our meeting as they promised.
Why would you need the municipal
For,
authority?
I would like to see their plan on what we plan on doing in the township, as far as getting water throughout the,
The municipal
water
authority
and
does-
source throughout the whole community.
Yeah, the municipal authority would only work on a water project if we assign them. Their main focus is sewage. He's talking about like public water.
Well, Tommy said they did one up in Southfield.
Yeah, they did.
If
no,
we
Gilmore,
assigned
They did the
them,
water project for
but
Gilmore.
they don't have any active water projects, so I'm not sure why we would.
Well, actually, the municipal authority, I did the Gilmore project, and actually what happens is you have to work through PA American Water.
Right,
So it really starts with asking PA American Water for an estimate to get water to service.
right.
And then you really figure out how do you finance it.
That's
what it
exactly
comes
what
down
I was gonna tell you, yeah.
to. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
If you wanna just hang for a second, grab me after the meeting and I can talk to you for a second. Thank you. You can step to the microphone. Sorry, or not.
Darlene Barney, Route 980. I seen on the agenda about Klinger Road and the Public Works. I guess you people want to go ahead and consider putting the Public Works or buying the property on Klinger Road?
Yes.
Okay. Public Works is considered a commercial use. Why would you want to build it in an area zoned R1? The use of this is not consistent with the R1. Besides, there's no utilities, water, sewerage, a lot of other things. It does not enhance the value of the residents' homes along Klinger Road. It will destroy the value of the properties but not decrease the taxes. In addition, the road is very narrow, and there is a lot of traffic using the road as a shortcut to 79 and South Point. The speed limit is 25 miles per hour, but nobody traveling that road, or any of the roads, Burnside, Pap, Klinger, 25 miles an hour, nobody abides by the speed limits, and the roads are very, very narrow. And with the daily use of dump trucks and triaxles on a township road means more repair and more tax dollars and money going towards the repairs. We could have had a public works facility off of a state road. You could have had 35 usable acres on the ABB property off of a state road and is properly zoned. 0 township roads being destroyed by the dump trucks, triaxles, and so on and so forth. The only thing they would have to put up with would be the road that would be off of Muse Bishop onto the property. I think you people ought to consider that, because the people on Klinger Road aren't very happy campers right now. All them homes along there, that would be like putting the public works in the middle of one of these housing plans. Windsor Woods, Timber Run, Overlook, Oak Brook. Put a public works in the middle of them and see how they'll feel about having their properties decrease in value, but taxes don't go down. I'd suggest that you, board, really look long and hard at this before you try and bring city water, sewerage down to this property, over the tunnel from the McConnell trails, and give it a hard, long look at this. Thank you.
Norleen, the water and the sewage is only 400 feet away. And we've already, I think Dan has talked to the trail about going over the tunnel. They were okay with that?
Well, yeah, it's not a problem. We just have to work out an agreement, a license agreement. They do it all the time.
Well, that's fine, but what about these people that are gonna have these trucks going past their house and on this narrow township road, when they can have a lot bigger road? Cindy, don't laugh at me, please.
I cleared my throat.
Yes, you did. You just had your hand up there, looked over there, and had a big smile on your face. Anytime I get up here, that's what you do.
Mrs. Barney, I was just thinking, I'll be honest with you, I was just thinking about the irony of you coming up advocating for the people on Klinger Road against our public works dump trucks, and yet you're totally okay with an industrial use off of Grange Road.
Sorry, I'm a property owner.
So because it impacts you, you're advocating for those people, but because
They wanted to come tonight, but they weren't
they're more than,
sure they were gonna be able to do
they
it.
were more than welcome.
Well, yeah, they're more than welcome.
I'm just saying it's ironic. Anybody else?
Hello, Kara Sheridan, 58 North DePauli. I was just wondering, after our last oil and gas workshop, when we expect to have proposed revised ordinance. Do we have a plan for that or timing in mind?
I would say we are going to talk over the next 30 days. We've been working really hard on the conditions for the moped because it was due tonight. But I would say within the next 30 days, we will work together and come up with something.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Kenny Strain, 4022 Sir James Drive, Windsor Woods. I personally want to thank anybody on this board that had something to do with getting us a light up there at those mailboxes. Because for 2 years, that developer had promised something was going to get done up there. I'm just thankful that you guys finally got something done, because it's really dangerous.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to thank anybody on here that was involved in that. The only other question I had was, is there any plan to do the bottom part of North DePauli paved?
Yes.
Do you know what story? Or I was going to ask
We're
Ronnie about
go ahead, Dan. You want to jump in?
Yeah, there's some easements and some driveways that needed to be worked out. Those agreements are just about in place, and then there's a pole that needs to be moved.
Okay. I
And
figured
then,
it was
and then
something
it'll
like
be
that.
finished. Yes.
Well, it's much, much nicer.
And the road is gonna be moved over away from the old tea room.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank
Well,
you.
I'm just happy to get some lighting up there. Well, I was going to ask, Dawn, is there any movement on the light?
I'll roll that into this latest local storage.
Anyone else before we end tonight's meeting? Tom, did you want to? Oh, sorry. This evening's meeting is adjourned.